A 360 exclusive investigation last week is getting action from the White House. The report highlighted up to 40 deaths at a Phoenix VA hospital, according to one doctor who worked there, of veterans waiting months for care. Here's how President Obama reacted to our report.
The moment we heard about the allegations around these 40 individuals who had died in Phoenix, I immediately ordered the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, General Shinseki, to investigate. We also have an IG investigation taking place, and so we take the allegations very seriously.
Well, 3 members of Arizona's congressional delegation want the VA director in Phoenix fired, and CNN has learned that the VA's Office of Inspector General is on the verge of expanding its investigation to include vets who may have died while waiting to get a follow-up doctor's appointment. Throughout all of this, the Phoenix VA director has refused to answer any of CNN's questions, which is why, keeping him honest, senior investigative reporter Drew Griffin tried finally just to track down the truth from the head of the VA for the entire state and got a not-so-welcoming response.
Director Hellman?
After being stonewalled for 2 weeks trying to get answers from the Phoenix Veterans Administration Hospital, it finally came down to this.
Director Hellman, can you talk to us, please?
Gentlemen, off property. Off property.
Surrounded by federal police, that is the VA's director of this Phoenix medical facility, Sharon Hellman,
Will she not talk to us?
who on Monday literally sped from our cameras.
Please talk to us, Director. Director Hellman?
A short time later, a change of heart. The director and her chief of staff decided it was time to answer the allegations that have 3 Arizona congressmen now calling for her resignation. As we first reported, multiple sources tell CNN as many as 40 veterans died while they were waiting for medical care at this VA facility. Our sources tell us many were placed on a secret list designed by VA managers to hide the fact veterans were waiting months to see a doctor.
Those are the allegations that we've asked the Office of Inspector General to review.
But those are the allegations I assume that you two would know direct knowledge of.
Again, those allegations are ones that the Office of Inspector General are reviewing right now. When we heard about this during the House Veteran Affairs Committee, it's the first time we have heard about those allegations, and that is why we've asked the Office of Inspector General to come in and do a thorough and impartial review.
That is an odd statement, considering that as early as last fall, the VA's Office of Inspector General had already been pursuing the allegations of a secret waiting list and veterans dying while waiting to see a doctor. Hellman's explanation? Yes, she says, investigators questioned her back in December, but she did not know what the questioning was about.
And they don't tell us what the allegations are surrounding their investigation. I can just confirm that, yes, they were here.
Multiple sources inside this hospital tell CNN under direction of management, a secret electronic waiting list was created and paper evidence of when patients first went to the VA seeking care was shredded. And those sources say Sharon Hellman and her medical chief of staff, Dr. Darren Deering, knew about it because it was their plan.
So I'm asking you, maybe you directly, sir, did this or did this not happen?
I think what we have here, Drew, is I think that there is some confusion amongst our staff. When we came on as a leadership team in 2012, the practice at that time was that they would schedule new veterans that were coming in for care way out into the future, sometimes a year, sometimes 14 months. So what we did is we took those patients that were scheduled way out into the future and we put them on this national tool, on this EWL, the electronic waiting list, so that when we had an appointment that came open, so if a veteran called next week and canceled their appointment, we could pull a veteran off this list and get them into that slot. So it actually improved the probability of these veterans getting an appointment sooner. I think there are some folks who did not understand that, and I think that's where these allegations are coming from.
So when I'm talking to these sources inside this hospital who literally in tears are telling us that patients have died waiting on these lists, those people are confused?
Drew, what we're saying is that we implemented the electronic wait list, and any concerns that staff have, I share in those same concerns.
Have you found cases where veterans are on the waiting list and have died?
Yes, and that is in the course of healthcare delivery, we have patients who unfortunately pass away. We have found veterans on the list who have died, but we have not been able to connect their death to the delay in getting their care.
It just seems cut and dry to me. Whatever happened, happened, and the people who know what happened are right before me.
I think that's a question for the Office of Inspector General.
But we have never instructed our staff to create a secret list, to maintain a secret list, to shred a secret list. That has never come from our office as far as instruction to our staff.
It's never come from me.
Are you kidding?
Dr. Sam Foote is the person who first became public on CNN with his accusations. He's a physician, recently retired after 24 years with the Phoenix VA, who, along with several sources inside the VA, says there is no confusion. The secret list existed and veterans died.
So you're not backing down at all?
No, sir.
So what they're telling us, false.
I would say so, yes.
Director Hellman, even the President of the United States has spoken out about this particular issue. 3 congressmen this morning are calling for your head. They want you out of here. Are you leaving?
I'm telling you right now, the Office of Inspector General is here reviewing all of the allegations. And as a leader of this organization, I'm going to continue to provide the best health care that these veterans deserve and earned.
CNN has learned the investigation may now be expanding, no longer just on veterans who died waiting for care, but now veterans who died waiting for return care, follow-up appointments that they could not get.
You know, Drew, what's so annoying about her responses is just clearly like, you know, it's all been lawyered and she just has her pat talking point of, we've given this over to the Inspector General. As you pointed out, the Inspector General questioned her long ago, and she's claiming she had no idea what she was being questioned about. And she talks about, you know, it's her job to get the best health care to our veterans, and our veterans deserve the best health care, waiting for months on a list, which even the Chief of Staff acknowledges still goes on. That's unacceptable.
It is unacceptable, and I want to point this out to you. Right now, they say they have improved the wait, Anderson. Right now, vets in Phoenix are waiting 55 days, they say, to get a doctor's appointment. I find that unacceptable.
That's insane.
So this whole talk about list is ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're saying, well, it's just for new vets who are coming. Well, I mean, why should a new vet who has a problem have to wait longer than anyone else? I mean, it doesn't make sense, and it just seems like they're just sort of, you know, their backs against the wall. So they finally, after scurrying away from you, driving off in the vehicle, they finally decide to sit down and just kind of give these pat answers. It all rests on what these investigators find out now, right? And then tell us about what happened. Will the families eventually know?
You know, Anderson, this is what's taking place, and this is where we're at a real reporting disadvantage. Because of federal privacy laws, we do not know who these 40 people are. And it's against the law for any of our sources inside that hospital to give us those names.
Okay.
Even the families, though they know their people have died, are unaware that they're the ones being reviewed. So it's up to the VA to let everyone else know under their medical review whether or not they feel they screwed up. That's where the thing is. And the trust for these families is just not there in the VA.
And has the national VA commented on this? I mean, has Shinseki gone on the record? Are they willing to sit down for an interview?
Anderson, we've been down this road on this show before. We have been asking for an interview with Eric Shinseki now for months and months and months, talking about deaths at medical facilities across the country, at VA facilities, and trying to ask Eric Shinseki, what the heck is he doing about this, and who is being held responsible for this? It is radio silence from the VA Department of Public Affairs, which I believe has 54 public affairs officers in its headquarters, and zip from Eric Shinseki.
They have 54 public affairs officers. Wow. Well, clearly they need them because, I guess, to, you know, hide their people or something. It's outrageous. And again, that vets, new or not, have to wait weeks and weeks and months to see a doctor is just, in this country, it's insane. Drew, appreciate the reporting. We'll keep on it. We're going to continue to follow this story. And if you have any comments or suggestions for Drew or the CNN Special Investigations Unit, go to cnn.com/investigate.